Hi, this is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home, and I want to talk about the market conditions and what it's going to look like in 2024. Now, I'm not Johnny Carson. I'm not the great Carmack, the magician, and read the future. If you remember those days, it kind of dates me. I miss Johnny Carson. He was a great nighttime host. Anyway, I want to tell you my feelings, thoughts, based upon experience I have. Two things you have to watch out for are inflation and deflation. And they're like a cactus or cacti in the desert, and you're trying to avoid them. Oh no, we're going to inflation. I got to hurry and buy this before it gets too expensive. Oh no, deflation is going to come. I got to get rid of that while I can. And these are the things you have to watch out for, and they're called market conditions: inflationary market conditions and deflationary market conditions. And I want to kind of put those into a concept to help you understand, should you build in 2024? Yes, if you fit within a margin. And I'm going to talk about what that margin is. Right now, because building is down throughout the country, there's not as many building starts, the permitting is way down. There is a kind of deflationary trend with real estate in the country right now. That is actually the best time to build if a couple of other factors are fitting your way. Now, let me explain why. I am hearing calls all over the place, and I live in one of the top 5 fastest growing areas in the country. It's been that way for a very, very long time. I'm getting calls all the time. Hey, you're looking for bids? You're taking in a new bidders on? I do drywall, I do concrete, I do framing. I'm getting 5, 10 of those a week on my phone all the time. And I'm hearing that around the country. There's a lot of people looking for work. So now what that means is you can literally get the best framers, the best drywallers, the best whatever you're looking for, because they tend to stay employed better because they're great at what they do. Right here I have a good example. I've got a triple ply LVL that was fit right up into TGIs perfectly. The TGIs were continuous at one time, but we're moving some walls, and that triple ply, actually it's a 4-ply, it's a 4-ply LVL beam, cut literally perfectly right into those TGIs. Now I was able to get the framing crew I want, and they're the best. They're a little more money, but they're the best. And you can find them. Before, they'd be so busy you couldn't get them. You're going to find competitive price on labor more so now during a deflationary move or deflationary trend, because subcontractors are wanting the work. Okay, that may not be the case for electrical, HVAC, and plumbing, because they can shift and move into service and not new construction. If they're a good subcontractor, they have feet in both, meaning they can take care of service calls and they don't necessarily have to rely upon new construction. But everything else, your tile setters, your concrete, your excavation, the whole works with regard to building your home, they're actually a little more competitive with their labor costs right now. As far as material costs, I see them flatlining. I don't see them going up. I've never seen material costs go up in a deflationary cycle. When land and buildings land is going down, or building starts are going down, I've never seen those prices go up unless we have another COVID, or unless we have an oil spike or an oil drop. Then those can either typically go up or go down based upon other factors. But as far as market conditions are concerned, building itself, permitting itself, and all those factors are in a decline, then it's a great opportunity to build. Commodity prices staying level or going down, labor prices definitely going down, or at least trying to be competitive, and that's what you want. That's a great opportunity to build within those parameters. Now, here's something to watch out for. In a deflationary cycle, we tend to lose value of things, meaning I've seen homes get built and sold for 1.5 million, and then they sell for 600,000, all right? And you don't want to lose that equity. But if you see yourself being in that home for a long time, and your job is stable, or that you're self-employed and you know you're going to be around for a long time, you can weather a deflationary cycle to some degree. So it's not really a factor for you. What's a factor for you is getting your home built and getting it built for the best quality and for the best cost, which is right now. It's weird how that is, but it is. And I've never seen people really take up the opportunity to build during more of a deflationary cycle. Everyone gets all excited, oh, let's build during an inflationary cycle, and then they're all fighting costs, fighting to find subcontractors to work. It's not as easy to build. I've done that. I've been through these cycles many times, and I've been through these cycles many, many times. So here's the thing to keep in mind. If this is your real and genuine forever home, it's a great time. All right, factoring in interest rates and whether or not you can maintain that interest rate. These are all separate from that. But aside from all that, now is a good time to build if you're fitting in that margin, if you know you're going to be stable, your income is going to be stable, or you can afford it and you don't see yourself moving for a long period of time. What I don't like to see is people building a home thinking this is kind of a spec home, or we're just going to build it and maybe sell it in a year. That's not a really good way to go, because you could go into a deflationary spiral. It could happen really bad at the end of this year. A lot of financial experts I find that I trust, that are boots on the ground people, are indicating that we're going to go into more of a curve that's deflationary, which means people are losing valuation in their homes or losing equity in their homes. I'd hate to see you build something and at the end of it lose equity when you've spent that money into it. Now keep just one thing in mind. During an appraisal, and I could talk forever on appraisals, when you're finishing your home, they're going to try to, the appraisal will be higher for new construction than it will be for an existing home. So that's a little bit in your favor. But I just wanted to give you a warning. Watch out for deflation. Watch out for inflation. These things can hit you upside the head in a way you're not ready for. And if you see something coming and it's not going to affect you because you're going to be in the home for a long period of time, then I wouldn't worry about it so much. Here's something else to keep in mind. Okay, and these are called reality wake-up calls. We have a $200 trillion unfunded liability cost in our government in the United States right now, meaning we don't have the tax base to support the services that we're now giving to a lot of people. On top of that, by 2031, and I've mentioned this in some live chats, the Congressional Budget Office indicated that by 2031, we will have all the interest or all the tax revenue coming into the government will go to supply for the interest and pay the interest on the debt that we have. So we're going into a real debt situation, the country is, and that's another factor. Will it affect you? You need to ask that for yourself. Will it not affect you? It's going to affect all of us, whether we like it or not. And you want to be smart with your building, smart with your debt, smart with the budget you're setting for yourself. And if you're really on a tight budget, try to shrink that house. Get it as small as you can, as more economical as you can. Get into that stable situation. And then if things get better, then you can add to it and scale it up. I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago where I showed how the pioneers dealt with that. They had very little money. They had almost nothing, but they built X first, and then they built Y later, and now I'm the Z guy coming on and doing a whole new revamp of the entire project. So if you can build in modular structures in a step-by-step staged structure, you're going to be really much better off. Don't try to go after the big enchilada. And this is the last piece of advice I'll give you on the market for 2024. Don't go after the full banana split with nuts and bananas and fudge and everything. Keep it simple. Go for a half a banana. Go for 1 or 2 scoops and maybe some fudge, but nothing else. Keep your build very modest. Keep it simple so that you know that if there is a major deflationary crash, you can weather that better with a more modest, more conservative approach than the full enchilada. I've seen way too many people build monstrous homes and they're huge in debt. Now, if the economy was the same as when they started the home, that'd be great. But if there's a deflationary crash and they lose their job or they lose massive value in the home, then they're in a real pickle. And I don't want to see anyone experience that. I've been through that myself, and I want you to be wise with regard to whether or not you should build in 2024. This is my best advice. This is Keith with How to Build Your Own Home. We'll see you guys next time.